With expanding cities, increasing urbanization and shrinking spaces, there is a need today for smarter design. Designs which not only maximize space utilization, but also endeavor to be sustainable. Hello and welcome to a special discussion on driving excellence in construction and design in India. There are 3 points worth examining today. Are developers and architects in India thinking and building on sustainable principles? Also the question, how far has India traveled when it comes to matching the global standards in design? And finally, an even more important question, how do you take great design to the masses and not just restrict it to beautiful hotels and luxury homes? Welcome everyone. Let me introduce the panelists to you. Pao Abello, Ndtvprime joins us. We also have Akshat Bhatt, Principal Architecture Discipline. With us, Nitin Gupta, Director, RCOP. Nayan Raheja, Executive Director, Raheja Developers, and Dilip Puri, Managing Director, India and Regional Vice President, South Asia, Starwood Hotels and Resorts. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. I think I'm going to start with that big question. Akshat, are architects and builders focusing on building smart spaces in a sustainable way, or is it just architects pushing, but your patrons, who are the developers, still not quite there?
Well, I think it has picked up, and I think developers have seen, or our clients have seen the need to engage with architecture more deeply and have architecture speak for itself, as opposed to sort of do a pastiche project and then try and sell it through fancy marketing. On the whole, since the value of these projects have risen, the buying price has risen, people have become more aware, the end user has become more aware and more critical of what they're getting. So we have been over the last few years engaged in quite a few interesting projects, and you could possibly call them cutting edge, but I don't like to use that word because there's so much more cutting edge stuff happening in the world. But yes, we have reached a place where there is now a demand or a requirement almost for more intelligent design and planning. And actually that's something that I feel needs to be, that term I think needs to be used a lot more in India, intelligent planning. Intelligent planning.
Nitin, what is your concept of intelligent planning? I mean, I see of global examples where buildings come up in 15 days, here 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, there's just not, there is...
The waiting is on.
Waiting is always on. So why is there so much of a difference? Is it what Akshat just said, intelligent planning is missing, or are there other challenges which prevent you?
Actually, these are two separate things. One, I think what Akshat is mentioning as intelligent planning, just to give you a very broad example, let's say 7-8 years back, when the real estate prices are not that high, we were doing, for an example, a 3-bedroom unit in 3,000 square feet. That was the kind of area being utilized. After around 3-4 years, when the prices went up, the ticket price remaining the same for the product, we started doing 3 bedrooms in 2,000 square feet. So that's where intelligent planning comes in. The requirements don't go down, it's the same family. But then when it comes to delivery, where you're saying it's not getting finished in time, that's a lot to do with the construction technology. See, unfortunately, all said and done, we have been going higher and higher in terms of the height of the buildings, but the construction technology has not sort of, lived up to those demands.
Wow, you comment on that. You've had global experience, and then of course India is a great growing market, and that's why a brand like yours is in this country. Huge potential, but lots of challenges, as everybody else is talking about.
Yes, definitely there is a lot of challenges in the country in all these aspects, in terms of design, in terms of which is the size of the building, in terms of behind the wall works also is very important that. But just to summarize what they have said, my ideas regarding, for instance, regarding design, affordable design able to everybody, I would say to the X number of crores to I don't know how many lakhs apartments.
And it is possible. It's possible. Not like if it's cheap homes, then they don't have to bother about design, and they can just be a very plain vanilla product.
No, first of all, we need to define what design is. But in terms, for instance, we are manufacturer of bathroom products, but if we're talking about design, can be colors, can be shapes, can be thickness of the walls of some particular products, can be electronic faucets, can be, I don't know, these kind of things. This is affordable for many, many budgets. In some cases, there are pieces of 1 lakh, or I don't know, 1,000 rupees. No? So in terms of design, my point is that it's affordable for all these different budgets.
Right.
In terms of the country, of course, we are facing a huge problem. For my humble opinion, is that we need to improve the quality of behind the wall works. I have this is something that happens. So I agree that we need to. In India, I have been living here for some years now. I see that the quality of the work sometimes is not the required for luxury, what we call luxury, let's say finishings. Luxury.
Behind the wall, you mean the concealed services?
I mean the plumbing. I mean
that's exactly what I just spoke about.
I mean pipes. I mean the concealed system. I mean the pressure. I mean the water quality.
Yeah.
These things also affect sometimes.
That's where technology has to come in.
Exactly.
We are still building with brick. We are still building with concrete block. And as you mentioned, drywall construction has to come in. We have to have methods which increase the speed of construction.
Yeah. All right, let's get Dilip Puri in here. Dilip, so, there is a little bit of frustration, huge excitement around the India market. We've said that the workmanship is fairly average and has a long way to go before it can reach global standards. What's your own experience been? I mean, you've been in the hotel business. At least on the hotel front, we have some of the most stunning properties in the country, and those globally actually do match the best. Do you also face similar challenges in terms of workmanship?
So let me try and put that in two buckets, Manisha. One is the whole construction aspect of it, and the other is the design aspect. I think in terms of design aspects, hotels in India have come a long way. I think they're, you've said yourself, you can look at some great hotel products, but construction is clearly a huge challenge, continues to be. I have yet to see a hotel built which doesn't leak in one form or the other. It takes, sometimes you can fix the problem in 3 months, sometimes you fix the problem in 3 years, and that begins to eat at the core. So really construction is the bigger challenge. I think from a design perspective, we've matured much more. And the perception unfortunately is that people think design means style. Clearly design has to be a combination of several factors. You can't just give shape to a shell and then say, I don't give a damn for the guts. You got to bring in aesthetics, functionality, technology all together, and finally make sure that who's the guy who's choosing what he wants? It's not the architect, it's not the builder, it's not the hotel operator. In the case of residential real estate, it's the home buyer, and in our case, it's our hotel guest. And until you really factor in what the expectations of these communities are, I think you'll continue to be remaining challenged about what you think about design. I mean, I deal with architects and designers all the time, and it takes a lot to kind of understand where a hotel operator which has an iconic lifestyle brand is coming from, and how the designer and the architects can interpret those into making really sustainable designs, iconic designs, which truly become lifestyle experiences for guests.
Dilip, hold your thought there. We're going to come back in just a while. So what we've established is that it's the construction, it's the workmanship which remains a challenge in the country. Design is not an issue, but then you can, like Pao said, create design with just simple colors, simple objects, simple shapes. You don't really have to go luxury. And we've heard other views also in terms of, yes, on the design front, there's a lot which is happening. What about sustainability? I think that's another big question that we asked at the beginning of the show. Are we creating sustainable designs? Are we thoughtfully making homes and buildings which will leave a better, greener earth? Everybody has to focus on that, and we will do so as well on the other side. Stay with us. Welcome back. Excellence in construction and design, such that it transcends the boundaries of a pocket full of homes and buildings in India and moves to the masses, and of course is widespread, is the focus of our discussion today. And as we said, how do we also look at sustainability? It's a question which begs a discussion every day, every moment that we live.